squeak. If you've heard that, hello and welcome. This is Raquel at Paints and Glitter. I'm trying a new perspective here on how to share a live video, and I'm hoping that it works. So if you're new here, I welcome you to my channel where nothing is perfect, but the intentions are good. And I'm going to try to zoom in the camera a little bit because it's looking a little askew, and I apologize for the sound of my chair that needs repair. Let's see if I can do this. No one's here, so if you're rewatching this video, just skip through, but I do see that there are 2 people here, so I'm going to try to zoom in. I don't know if I can. Oh, I can. Okay, excellent. All right, so if you're here, just say hello. I'm going to try to check the chat. And it's been a minute since I've done a live video. I actually wasn't going to do a live video. I'm going to try to not squeak this chair so badly. However, I wanted to come along and share the latest craft kit. This is not part of it. It's just scrap papers. I do have a video, a tutorial video for what you'll see here today. So I'm just going to quickly add some links to the chat in case you're interested in any of the items that you see here today. That way you're able to get your hands on it because these are live now. So please say hello and let me know where you're watching from if you're new to the channel. And this is from Tonic Studios. I'm going to show you what's available in this new kit called Santa's Shaker Tags. It's super cute, and I think, I'm not sure if the perspective is upside down here. So this is where I need a little help. I think it is, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna have to do everything upside down, but that's okay. Upside down for me. So this is the paper wallet that's included, and this is a preview. This kit's actually going to start shipping on the first working day of December, and it includes a Nouveau drop, which is absolutely gorgeous, 2 rolls of foil, along with everything that you'll see here, which is going to allow you to create some adorable tags. So let me just position these as such so that way you can see them. And I'm going to wait for people to come in because this is an impromptu video, but I figured it would be easier to do this than sharing the photos as we normally do on social media. I think a little bit of engagement, live engagement, goes a long way. So it includes the sequins that you see here. It includes double-sided adhesive, which I'm going to grab here. You'll get a roll, an entire roll, because Tonic Studios used to do sample sizes, and now they do full-size product, which is phenomenal. And I'm wondering if anyone can hear me, but we'll find out, I guess. The other thing that is included is, let's see here, foam adhesive, which I have over here. Oopsie. And I'm dropping things, but actually, that's a good thing because I just found something else I wanted to share. It includes a foam adhesive. It includes the dies. It does not include the hard shell binder, but it does include the little wallet, so I'll show you that. And then I'll show you the dies included, and also the foil transfer sheets. So it comes with this wallet here, and in this wallet is where you can house your items. However, if you want to, you can purchase magnet sheets like these with the little sleeve for your dies. So it will include the dies you see here. It has all of these tiny little dies that are going to create a bunch of beautiful different decorations for your crafty makes. So let me hold it like this. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better there. And I'm hoping that I'm focused enough. And it may be on my side here that I have to up the Yeah, here we go. Okay, so you should be able to see that well. It includes these, and then it includes these as well. So it's an excellent value. In fact, I've seen other companies put out very similar tag dies for quite a bit more. If you compare, excuse me, not just the design, but also the quantity of what you receive in the kit. So it does include all of that. Those are 25 dies, by the way. I like to label mine, so if you're interested in knowing how I label my supplies, let me know. So I put that in there, and also it includes enough sheets to work with. Now I've already created the samples for you, so obviously I did cut into the papers, but you're going to get 2 sheets of mirror card, one in honey gold and one in this really beautiful red. And you're also going to be getting the green paper that you see here, 2 different shades, and that's in classic card from Tonic Studios. One of them looks like this. Still have quite a bit of that left. They're all A4 size sheets of card. Here's the other green. It looks like that. And it's avocado green, olive green, if I'm not mistaken. This deep rose color, and also this cherry red. Very beautiful colors of paper. And then here's the mirror card. So I don't want to cause too much glare, but that's what that looks like. And there's the gold. It's a little bit left over of that, which again, I've got a lot of glare here, so I don't want to blind anyone. It also includes this black cardstock, which I'm not, you know, I don't have even enough to share. It's smooth black cardstock that's heavyweight cardstock, and it also includes acetate. So let me show you that. The sheets of acetate are construction grade, very nice and heavy, and they're even heavy enough to create boxes with. So if you wanted to create some tags and put them in a gift box, you would be able to do that. Hello, Tanya. Thank you for being here. Feel free to share the video if you'd like. I'm doing my own little reveal video here, but I figured I should share what I've made, and I'm not sure if I should zoom in a little bit more or not. I'm going to try to move these up a little bit though, because I moved my camera. I was worried that I wasn't going to be in shot, and now it seems like I should have left it as it was. But let me see here. Hi, Monica. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Wonderful, from Hawaii. How wonderful. It's so, what time is it where you are, Monica? You must have probably just gotten up. So we can go through these. I'll show you what I've made, and then of course answer any questions that you may have. Let me know if you are a kit subscriber. By the way, I'm always curious of the people who watch this channel, how many are subscribers to the Tonic Studios craft kit, and if so, oh wow, well, good morning and blessings to you, hun. You just got up. If you're anything like me, oh my gosh, I've been actually getting up way too late, and staying up way too late, so I need to flip that around, definitely. So yeah, this kit, I have to say, oh, I forgot one other thing. This also includes foil transfers. I can't believe I almost forgot that. So it's 4 sheets total that will come with this kit, and that's kind of a highlight of this kit, if I, you know, can say that. They look like this, and then these little sheets are double-sided adhesive, but in paper form, if you will, like little stickers. All you have to do is cut them out. So while I'm saying that, let me just go ahead and do it, because people like to see, right? You cut out a little piece of this, and I'm going to go for the easiest, which is going to be the little tree here. And then you use that as if it were a little sticker. So you do need to have either a transfer or paper creaser, right? You need something to transfer that with because you need to rub it onto the paper. You can also use a ball stylus such as this one because that gets warm. So that's always a good option. Then what you do, of course, is you need your piece of paper. And that can be any color, any size, whatever you like. If you want to be very traditional, you can go with the green. Cut out a small piece of that. And you cut it in the size you like. And the reason I'm saying that is because after you transfer this, and I'm going to be working upside down for a moment, but I don't think that's of any consequence. Once you transfer this, then you cut it out. Now there is a matching die, and I just kind of ruined the bottom of that. So be careful when you peel it off. That's one thing I'll tell you. Once you transfer this, you decide if you want to cut into this or not. And I'll explain what I mean. Because this does have a little delineation all around the border. And the idea behind that is that it's going to give you a guideline as to how you should cut this paper. Because it does have a matching die. And if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. Sometimes when you're using both sides of your brain, you forget what you've said. At least I do. That's my excuse anyway. All right, so then you have two colors of foil to choose from. You have this beautiful red, and it's, I would say it's kind of like a wine red or a burgundy red, and then there's the honey gold. And by the way, the sequins, the honey gold, are exactly the same match as the foil, and then the red sequins in here are an exact match to this foil, which I think is phenomenal. Those little types of details is what I really enjoy about Tonic Studios. They kind of seem to think of everything. However, there's this drop, and this is called Rudolph's Nose, and this is a lighter red, but once you apply it to your project, and I'll show you some close-ups here because I do have a tutorial for these, and you're going to see the photos. I try to take close-up photos, by the way, when I share my videos because I'm a stickler for detail. So I want to see all the nitty-gritty details of when a person creates a craft, and I'm hoping that I'm in frame here, and I have a delay on my end, so I do apologize. I think I'm good there. Okay, so this is what I like to see when I'm looking at a project. I want to see, does it actually do what they say? Are they fooling me? Right? So this is what I was able to do with those drops, and I'm showing you two different ones here on purpose because the one with the candy cane has the drop on the top there, and then the one with the stocking, I use the drops to decorate the little stars. Now the dies do all of the work for you in terms of, for instance, the debossing on that stocking, which is spectacular because you get all those little stars. But then if you want to, you can color those in, whether it be that you cut this out of just any type of paper you have and color in the stars with little watercolor pencils or your alcohol markers, whatever you prefer. Or you can do the Nouveau drops and get that beautiful shine. So that's two examples there. And it's fun to do. All you have to do is place your little drop on the paper and take a stylus if you have one. It's got that pointy tip. And then go ahead and spread it as you, I always compare it to cookie decorating, because if you've ever done that, it's the same concept. It's like putting frosting on a cookie. And if you haven't done that, then try it with the Nouveau drops on paper. You just use a scrap piece of paper. That way you get acquainted with it. But let's go ahead and transfer the foil on here. I'm going to go ahead and do the gold. I have, by the way, another treat. Yep, I did gold on green here. I don't know if you're able to see that. Hopefully. And I wish I can stand up from my chair and try to zoom in better here, but I'm hoping that you guys can see this okay. Please let me know if you can't. Because I am using a phone right at this moment, and it's kind of iffy when it comes to, here we go. There. So if you see the tree there, and I'm trying to be still, that tree has the foil on it as well. And then you see the golden sequins to match. So I'll describe that a little bit more as I craft here, but gonna take a piece of foil here. I thought I had my scissors. And this foil is gonna go a long way. It's super cool to use because it's really not that complicated. It's more complicated to say it than it is to use it. All right, so I like to house mine right back in the packaging just so that it doesn't get crummy, because it is a delicate type of supply, so you don't want it to be all wrinkled in a drawer or anything like that. Try to keep it, you know, in its little home there, and you'll be good. So then here's the little tree. I'm going to pull away this cover very gently, and then we can get to applying the foil. Now, of course, other companies, and I do use the hot foil. Other companies have a foil transfer that requires heat, but what's really neat about this one is that it does not. It's just friction. And as you can tell, I'm kind of stretching the foil a little bit, and that's just so that the foil's not moving everywhere. If you want to make use of double-sided adhesive, if that helps you, then by all, I'm sorry, low tack, I meant to mention low tack. If you want to low tack this, you can, but you don't have to. As you can tell, I'm just rubbing that back and forth until I see the image come through. And then I pull this away very gently, and I have myself a transfer there. So let me show you that a little bit closer, although I think you can see it. The reveal is always the fun part, right? And I'm sorry if this is out of focus. Oh my goodness. I'm hoping that, let me see here. And again, I do have a delay on my end, so there we go. All right, so I think you can see the gold there. Now you can also see an outline, and that outline is on there on purpose because of that matching die that I mentioned. So what you do then is that you grab the little tree die, and there are two included in this set. There's one here, that's the solid one I'm referring to, and then that one is going to fit right inside of that outline. The other one is this more delicate one, and what that will do is it will actually cut a tree that looks like this here, with the little lights on there, and then also it's open, so you can back that up with vellum. You can use all different types of colors if you would like to make that a super colorful tree. As you can tell, I stacked two of them. I did the solid one, and then I did that really pretty open one. So lots of different options there. Let me set this aside and grab my plates that, of course, I forgot. In the meantime, let me know, guys, if you are a subscriber or if this is something that you would use in your crafting. And again, I apologize for the sound, the awful sound that this makes. But I'm going to just go ahead and use this low tack adhesive to place this on here. And I'm going to, let me know if you need me to zoom in, by the way, because I can still zoom in a little bit more. I just wanted you guys to be able to see everything that's on this table. But I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. And in the first pass, it's going to cut. Oops, it sticks to the top plate, so always be careful about that. But if you see here now, this is going to cut that pretty tree out of the background. And I save these little pieces of tape, by the way. My poor machine ends up looking like it's decorated itself in tape. And this particular die, I need the little pokey tool to remove the paper sometimes, but now you see how your little tree is already halfway decorated, if you will. because you have the stripes right on there. And if you would like to, now you can place little Nuvo drops on it, and you're going to get a really adorable embellishment that then you can use as you like. Now let me see here, because I do have other pieces that I had cut out previously, and I just lost my sleeve there. Let me see if I still have them around here. I wanted to make sure that I mention that you're going to get the little apertures when you cut the frames using your dies, and they're going to look like this. I have a few here. So if you want to, you can either use those apertures as a way to decorate a card, for instance, or you can cut into them with the other dies included to create yet another embellishment. So be mindful of that when you're cutting these pieces. So let me show you what that looks like here. And that's these frames that I'm referring to here. So let's go ahead and do the round one. And we can do that in a different color. So let's do the red, because I haven't done the frames in the classic card. So one thing I wanted to mention before I forget is that this kit comes with enough papers for you to create basically a sampling of a project, although there's quite a bit of supplies. But because this is meant for shakers particularly, right? Then you need to be able to have space in between your background paper and your actual topper, so that way you can have a shaker. Now in my tutorial video, I explained that I went ahead and used different foam, and I did that quite on purpose because the foam adhesive included in the kit is this square adhesive here. So great question, Monica. You do not need to be a subscriber. You can purchase a one-off kit. So if you click on the link that I have there for you, it'll take you right to the page. And then you select whether you want a one-time purchase or if you want to be a subscriber. Now, having said that, I'll let you know that one benefit of being a subscriber is that you're not locked in to receive every kit. You can skip the kits that you don't like, and there's no penalty like with other companies. With Tonic Studios, if you don't want a kit, you're not stuck with it. And all you do is go back to your account and you select manage subscription, and it'll tell you, you know, which kit's coming up next, and then you can select skip, or you can just leave it as is, and then it'll continue as normal. You also get, as a subscriber, if you choose to do so, you do get 10% off of everything in store. It doesn't matter what it is, you're going to get that special discount. And that's super cool, because then you may want to go back and, for instance, get some adhesive. You may want to get just different items that are available, or maybe there's a new die set that releases and you're really interested in it. Then you can definitely go ahead and take advantage of that. So I here have some papers. This is from the Christmas Candy Cane Christmas. I always forget the name. From last year. And these papers are so adorable that I'm just going through here and looking at them and thinking, okay, I think I want to use one of them just to show you guys. It's hard to choose because they're all so darling, but let's go ahead and do the Christmas tree one. And I'm going to cut the solid piece now out of that one. It's just going to be a small piece here. And oh, you're very welcome, Monica. Yeah, a kit is a really wonderful way to also try out new things. For instance, let's just say that, excuse me, that you've never done a shaker. Let's just say that you've never done foiling and you are just getting your feet wet into the whole crafty thing. Then this is a really great way to go about it because you can try out all of the little items that come with it. And if even you don't enjoy the shakers, let's just say that's not for you, you're not into that, but you really like the shapes of these items, then you can just get it for the dies, and that alone will be worth it. Because I'm going to be honest, the price of dies and other companies, and yes, I do look around, I try to compare to see who's got a better value, because I'm also a crafter. um I have to tell you, Tonic Studios just, they do it right. Because of everything that is included is, for me, I'm just like, it's such a great value because you're not stuck with product that you don't like because you got to see it first. Also, the quality of the dies is, speaks for itself. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that the dies that they received didn't cut right or anything like that. The sizes are really nice, and I'm looking here. I was thinking that maybe I should do a card, but I think I'm gonna try to do a shaker. I've got time. So, in any case, I think it's great value. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't say so, because number one, I was a subscriber to the Tonic kits before I was ever even on the design team. You can go back in my videos and verify what I say on this channel. So you'll know that I was first a customer. I fell in love with the product, and so for me, it's just, I'm sharing what I really like. And then when I don't like something, or if I don't prefer it, I'll put it that way. If there's anything I don't prefer, I let you know immediately, and that's where the subject of the foam adhesive comes in. This kit comes with these little squares. And in my other tutorial, I share how these adhesives are great. They're wonderful, for instance, to layer the little items that you see here. So that's all I used to layer these, was this red line adhesive. But as far as the shaker is concerned, I did use a different foam, and I'm going to show it to you. I'm just going to clear out my desk here a little bit. I have it here, and I do have a link. Let me see here. Pretty sure that I do, so bear with me, because I'm going to have to quickly move some things around here so that I can show you. I'm hoping that I grabbed the link. I think I did. In fact, I think it might be on sale. Yeah, it is. So let me go ahead and grab that for you guys. I think it's in here. And I'm sorry I'm multitasking here, but that's how it goes when you're doing a live video, because sometimes it all comes from different places, and I just want to make sure that you guys get the accurate information rather than leaving it till later. Although I wish I had oh shoot. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to give you guys an affiliate link. So, shoot, I wish I had that on here. All right, here's what I'll do, and yeah, okay. Sorry guys, I'm doing 15 things at once over here. I'm going to go into, sadly, I have to go back a minute here. Here we go. Okay, I'm trying to get you guys what I'm referring to here, and I apologize. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so you can go here. All right, found it. And it's like jumping through hoops sometimes, but oh goodness, I'm trying to come back. Here we go. Am I back? Yes, I'm back. Okay, so if you click on there. All right, what I'm trying to show you is this. Because you can look up on that page, foam adhesive. And there's going to be different ones, and I wanted to bring this up because these come in different sizes. And for instance, this one, it's 1/8 of an inch wide. However, these come in different thicknesses. This here that comes with the kit is 2 millimeters thick, which is quite thick for a foam, you know, adhesive that's going to pop up your projects. And when you look at how they really add dimension, they're really wonderful for that. So I did use them, for instance, on the little bows all throughout. I used them, let's see here, for the bows. But for the actual shakers, I recommend the strips because of the fact that obviously with these being longer, you don't have to do one by one by one. Not only that, but the thickness of the strip might be smaller or larger depending on the one you select, and I'm talking about height, of course, but the width being 1/8 of an inch is actually perfect for this project. And I hope that wasn't too, you know, involved, but I like to give all the details because I don't want you to be misled when I create a video for you to think that I used a different product than what I'm showing. And I think I need to refresh here because I don't see my channel correctly. So there we go. My computer froze there. All right, so here's what I'm going to show you about the actual acetate, right? I mentioned earlier, it's really nice and thick. You can even make boxes with it. So that's got a benefit, and it also means that dyes are not going to actually cut through it. However, it leaves a clear enough indentation that then you can finish cutting it with a pair of scissors. So I'm using the solid die, not the aperture die, and the aperture one has the little polka dots or the little stippling edge. Let me get these out of the way. Whereas the acetate one does not. So the solid one, I should say, does not. So you're going to be able to use this one for the background, as you see here, and also for the acetate. And then the one that's got that pretty, very decorative edge is the one that you're going to be using for your aperture. Now, if you want to, you can continue cutting this as many times as you like to get the thickness of that frame. And some people don't like to use foam adhesive, or maybe you have a whole bunch of leftover papers that you simply know that you're not going to use on a project because maybe they're smaller, all your scrap pieces, for instance. Then take advantage of that if you like, and then cut those multiple times so that you can create a really nice sturdy frame. And that'll also allow you to have the thickness that you'll need to pop it up against that background. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut that one a couple more times, because the kit brings the thick black paper that you're going to see, or it includes it, and that's going to allow you to create a bunch of apertures. Now what I like to do is take advantage of any scrap papers, and that's what I have here. So for instance, I just have these from when I make cards or anything like that, and then I can cut these out multiple times. That way you have a nice sturdy aperture for your shaker. Let me know, by the way, if you have any questions. If I've confused you, I apologize. But I'm trying to cover a lot of information to make sure that you know what you're receiving and also how to use it. Because as I say in my videos, I don't want to assume that you know anything about crafting just because you're watching a crafty video. It may be the first time you watched a crafty video. And if that's the case, then you may want to know all of this information. So here we go. Here's a second one. And all of these different shakers have at least 3 apertures adhered together, just so you know. And you'll see that in the tutorial, how I do 2 of the black apertures that I cut with the paper in the kit, and then the pretty mirror card on top. So you'll see me do the same thing here today. So if you want to, for instance, if you had cut this out of mirror card, then save those, because that's how you're going to get all of those pretty little details cut out with the smaller dies. And then I also made use of the little holes that fell out of the center from the apertures. That's what I use on the center of the bows. So here I have 3 little apertures cut. That's going to be enough to get this nice and sturdy. And I'll be using the foam adhesive that I mentioned, but let me get my glue ready over here, because this always goes wonky whenever I do a live video. I just come to accept the fact that my glue gun only works when no one's looking. I don't know about you guys, but that's how it is for me. But let me know in the comments if you're crafting for Christmas gifts or not. That's how I would, of course, use these. And of course, you can make the actual tags into gifts depending on the image that you cut out. I had mentioned in my tutorial that if you want to use this to cut out photos of your loved ones instead of little Christmas images, that would make it a super cute gift. And I'm sure at some point I'm going to see an example like that. So I'm going to adhere these 2 rings together first. Because again, this is just to make this nice and sturdy, because the paper is quite thin. So you do need to cut this several times to get a nice sturdy edge. And I'm going to try to make sure that they're even all the way around, of course. On top of that, I'm going to adhere the acetate. So here's what I was referring to earlier. The demarcation line is left on there by the die, but I'm going to finish cutting this with scissors. And I have too many. Don't tell anyone. I'm going to go around here with the smaller scissors because it's going to make it a whole lot easier. And I'm just following that line. This doesn't have to be 100% perfect. But the line is nice and clear, no pun intended. And then you're going to remove the actual cover. Now, if you noticed, I didn't bother cutting out that little detail of the loop there because it's not necessary. You really don't need it. And here's where I'm going to peel off the film. Super easy. And this is what I'm going to add to this aperture here. The one with the thicker paper. It's got the 2 papers together. Now, I'm going to try to be neat here. So I do have some baby wipes waiting for me, because if not, I'm going to make a mess. And I don't want to do that. Okay. I'm going to grab my little adhesive, because I put too much glue on here. So I'm going to render this. Spread it out a little bit there. If you're more delicate than I, then you don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to place this right on top. Okay, make sure it makes contact all the way around. And if you're worried about getting any adhesive on that acetate, don't worry too much, because you can always wipe it off with a little baby wipe or a damp paper towel. And now I'm going to put the pretty decorative aperture right on top. Just like that. And I'm being really delicate here because paper will stretch and acetate will not. So you would just want to make sure that this matches all the way around really neatly if you can. And the next thing that I do is I actually put an acrylic block on top of this so that it has a bit of weight and it helps to dry it. And that's only going to take a couple seconds. So while that's drying, then you can decide, are you going to use any of the other dies included? Are you going to do your little label with the foil, as you see there? There is the Nuvo drops that I mentioned. There's the little baubles that are smaller. There's one here, for instance, that I added underneath that little bell. And I did add Nuvo drops to that. So the, here we go. The little details is what's going to make this super special. You can layer to your heart's content. You can use foil on the larger items or on the smaller ones. You can use ribbon, as I've done here, to tie more of the little elements onto these little shakers. And this, by the way, is just looped up here. It's got little knots to attach the smaller little baubles, and then all I did was tape it on the back. But I do mention in my video, if you're going to gift this, just go ahead and cover this with another piece of cardstock so that it looks really pretty. I just wanted these to dangle here. But you get an idea of how you can add this, for instance, to the front of a card if you want to give it away. You can add the foil onto the little elements inside, or you can add it onto the actual acetate. That's another option. Of course, you'd have to be really careful when you're doing that so that you get the placement correct, because these items can slip, you know, when it's a slick surface. But this should be dry. Doesn't take very long. And here's where I'm going to add that foam adhesive I was talking about. I'm going to move these out of the way for a moment just to make it a little bit easier for my eyes. And this is the one that I linked in the chat. All right, I linked the page anyway. And this is why I recommend this one, because you can just go around the perimeter of your die cut and shape this quite easily. Now you do want to be careful, of course. You don't want to work too fast when you're working with these items, because if your paper shifts, it might be on its way to being dry and then you accidentally shift it and that sort of thing. But it's easy enough. If I can do it, anyone else can. And it's up to you if you want to cut this foam halfway. I don't think you need to, but I do find it's a little bit easier to shape if the cover is removed, that little protective cover. And of course, that's completely optional as well. I tend to use my fingernails as much as any other tool. But here, when it comes to the end, I'm just going to cut away the excess, whatever I don't need. Oh, hello, Fedugina. Welcome, welcome, dear. Thank you for being here. And by the way, if you like these videos, please share them with your friends on social media. It helps the algorithm, helps the channel. Because the great majority of my viewers are not subscribed, and I don't know why. I'm not understanding that. So I am asking for help with that, of course. I would love for people to subscribe to this channel. So I'm seeing that there's the tiniest little bit of adhesive on that acetate. Before I proceed, I am going to wipe that off. If you want to do this with a little drop of alcohol, it'll be even easier. But I promise you that you can remove that. Okay? Now this is a baby wipe. It's quite wet. So I'm actually going to go back with a dry piece of towel here. Ordinarily, I'd be doing it with just a very lightly damp piece of paper towel. And I'm being risque here because I already removed the cover of my adhesive there, but I mean, I'm not going to take it too seriously either. So there we are. It's nice and clean. Oh, thank you, sweetie. And that can happen to anyone, by the way. You know, you could be a long-time watcher of a channel and then suddenly realize, like, wait a minute, I was never even subscribed. How did that happen? Because it happens to me as well. So here you determine how many pieces of foam you would like this to have, and that's of course going to be contingent on how thick the foam is. Now this is thinner than the little squares, as I mentioned before, but I'm okay with that because I'm not going to overload this. I'm going to place my little tree here to decorate the inside of the little bauble. And I may have had some leftover. I'm going to check really quick because I think I had some leftover little die cuts from this kit. And guys, when I clean, let me tell you, I have no mercy. So I just scoop everything up and set it aside. So bear with me one second. Oh, wonderful. Dina, thank you and welcome. Yay! Okay, I did find some other ones. So this is what I do. I just throw everything in a dish. And then I don't feel so guilty about throwing it out immediately. Isn't that awful? All right, but you can do the other little ornaments. I'll do them on the outside, I think, because these are too pretty to just shove in there haphazardly. But I do have some other ones in here. That's not it. Let me see. Making sure I don't show you stuff I shouldn't. All right, but there's a little candy cane. There's these adorable little pieces of greenery. I really like those. The little stockings, too cute. I've got some of those there. And there's some itty bitty candy canes as well. And I might have to cut out the bow. I don't know. You guys let me know. But there's some adorable greenery there. Let me get that candy cane out. Here we go. Okay, setting that aside. So once you choose how is it that the inside of this is going to look, maybe I'll just go ahead and put two little candy canes in there. A shiny one and a not so shiny one. Let's see here. Now, the one thing I'll say is I wish they had done two candy canes in different perspectives. I don't know why I'm so spoiled with that, but oops, I was out of frame. No one told me. Yes, Gina, I agree with you. YouTube. This is the world of nonsense, and I'm sorry to say that, but it's the dang truth. Randomness and nonsense. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I just tried it, and I do have a lag, so bear with me, guys. I just want to make sure you guys can see this, and Mamma mia. I don't know. Okay, I am in frame. All right, cool. Okay, because it looks so blurry on my end, and I don't know if I'm just losing my eyesight even worse every day or what. But that wouldn't surprise me either. Going through so many glasses. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to put the little candy cane in there, and this isn't going to be the prettiest one, but it's just to give you an idea, of course, you know. But I really wish they had done two. And I'm going to have to look through my stash to see, do I have an opposite facing candy cane? Because now I'm a little bit OCD about it. Okay. Now on the other ones, I did put the candy cane on top of one of these, and I'm going to have to find it, because then I put little Nouveau drops all around it, and it just looks so cute. Because it does have these little dots all around, and I think that's what it's meant for. So now you decide gold or red and green. You guys tell me which color sequins you want me to put in here. Yeah, this is the year 2025 was the first year I allowed myself a decent pair of glasses. Can you believe that? I finally decided, you know what? I'm a grown adult and I need to see what's happening around me. For the whole entirety of my adulthood, I've just been walking around half blind, and now that explains a lot of the choices I've made in my life. I'm joking, guys. At the end, I just don't wear any and sit with my nose stick on the display. Yes, I can relate. Walking around aimlessly, squinting at the world. Indeed, indeed. I can relate to that lifestyle. What I tell my husband is, you know what? There's so much I don't need to know and don't want to see that it's actually an advantage. But let me know, are you team stars or are you team, well, this is called Festive Trinkets. I think it's so cute. And then this one's called Santa's Sparkles. So let me know, Dina, Gina, and who else was here a moment ago? I don't even know if they left. Gold? Okay, so let's do the gold. You were the first one to vote, so... You know, Dina, I tried that and I didn't like the result. And I think that was only because of my plates. My plates look like I own a Doberman and I don't. So I think if you're really careful, or if you put a sheet of protective paper on your plate before you cut it, you can definitely get away with that. I gave it a try and I think it's, yeah, it's right on that little dish. Where is it? Of course, if I took my glasses off, I'd love it. I would say it's so pretty. Hold on a second. Yeah, here it is. I did it, but I didn't have the protective paper, and it just, I mean, it looks vintage. I suppose I can still use it. I just didn't love it because of the edge, you know. Oh my gosh. It's the texture. It had the texture of the plates. Oh, you guys make me laugh. Oh my gosh. But I love that you guys have a sense of humor. Oh, I love that. We need that in this world. All right, so I just put a few in there. I didn't go too crazy. And now I can go ahead and close this off. Close the vault already. And I'm gonna double this with the Nouveau Deluxe, even though I do have that foam, because I don't trust foam adhesive. I never will. Only because there's actually, if you know how this is constructed, right? There's a layer of adhesive on top of that foam, and that adhesive can go, you know, icky. It happens. I think it depends on the humidity and all that good stuff, but in any case, Nouveau Deluxe adhesive is my friend, and I really like using it, and I get it everywhere. It's the part you don't see in the videos, but I do get it everywhere, and then I just clean it off with a baby wipe. But there we are. It's just a cute little shaker. It's super adorable. Not complicated, I don't think. And if you weren't making a video, if you're not chatting away, it won't take you very long to make at all. And then you decide, all right, you have your inside little items, but then you decide what else you want to put on top. I think I'm going to go for the little stocking. I think it's just too cute. And the greenery, if you want to add it, let's go ahead and do that. This one's going to be quite simple, but then, oh, I need some ribbon. I need ribbon. I need ribbon. So we can add those little trinkets. Let me see. Let me grab a piece of ribbon, guys. Yes, absolutely. Very true. Let me see. I have thin adhesive, thin ribbon. Here we go. For this sort of thing, you can use the thinner ribbon is what I would recommend, of course. I'm going to go with this green one, just to vary it up. But, you know, that's one thing I did look at in the store, and I apologize. I should have looked to see if they have any ribbon left over at Tonic. But if they don't, that's easy enough to find. All you need to do is search for 3mm wide ribbon if you like that thickness, because it looks nice and delicate when you add it to these projects. So all I did for the other one was to feed it through that little the little hole on the tinier little ornaments, and then I made a little knot. Nothing complicated. Okay, so I did that. And then of course you can add it on the top, you can add it behind the ornament, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to cut a piece of this. Yeah, you know, this ribbon has lasted quite a bit. I think this past year they were discontinuing a lot of colors. It made me sad, but that's how, you know, the industry goes. They decide to change things, and sometimes the things we like the most are the ones that are the first to go. It depends really on whether or not people are purchasing it. That's, you know, those decisions have to be made for the good of the company, so I can understand it. And I'm going to try to loop this around, and I'm overthinking, guys, so I apologize. Just going to loop that around. There we go. And I'm going to let that go toward the front, because again, you don't have to use this on a gift box. However, it will look adorable if you do, but you can definitely use this on a card front. And for the life of me, mamma mia, hold on one second. Like, get in there. Oy vey, I have no patience for myself. Here we go. There. Now, the remainder of that I can loop in here. That's what I wanted to do. It's the blind leading the blind. Lent. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Come on, babies. Work for me. Work. I need to do hand finger push-ups or something. Here we go. All right. And cut off the excess. We don't need too much of that. It's just meant to be fun. And for the actual little stocking, I can go ahead and use the red. Ah, no tengo lentes. No, no tengo ojos, lentes, ni mente. Nada. Tengo nada. Oh, gosh. You know, I was telling my husband how we Latin people are able to make us up a song on the spot. Like, it's genetic. I'm convinced of it. Oh, in Latvian? Wait a minute. Is that how you say? Really? Is Latvian a romance language? Educate me. I'd like to learn. But as a segue, I was telling him that, you know, there's something so rhythmic about the language, the Spanish language in particular, or any romance language really, but in my culture, that's how people communicate. Like, within seconds, you'll be singing with a perfect stranger and no one thinks anything of it. Oh, I don't want to cover that one candy cane now. Darn it. I should have thought of that, but that's okay. So I'm just going to hold this on here for 2 seconds just to attach that little stocking there. I've got my little trinkets hanging off of there. Now, if it bothers you to see the white, by all means, you can double these up back to back. That's not a bad idea ever. On here, you can do the little banners. So let me show you those. In fact, I think this one I just tucked in there. I need to add a little more adhesive there. Yep, because it's moving. But you can tuck in the little banners as you see here. And if you're curious about the sentiments, I chose my favorites for these samples, but there are more, so I can show you those, of course. So Latvian, a specific type of language, just found it so funny as I looked for ribbon and there were written lente. Oh, wow. You know, that's not a language I'm familiar with. Is it similar to Romanian? Now I'm curious. Now I want to know. Okay, I'm going to add a little more to this, which is going to be the little greenery there. So just a little drop of adhesive there. And this is what I did with the other ones, was that I added one first, then I added the second one. Now, the other thing you can do to these, which I forgot to mention, I'm so glad I just thought of it. I use these dauber markers. Dual dot markers is what they're called. They have a dauber end, which is round, and then they have a thinner end. And what's really neat about these is that you can use them to add a little shine to your projects, whatever it may be. It can be just tiny little dots as a highlight, any little lines. For instance, I can go around this and do every other little perforation on here, and then that's going to give me a little bit of shine on this. And I'm just pressing down with the tip of this marker. Now, I don't write calligraphy with these or anything like that because of the fact that it is a felt tip. It's just not my preference, nor do I, you know, spend time doing calligraphy on a daily basis anyway. But it's fun to add that little bit of shine. And you can use any edge that you like, depending on the result that you would like. That dauber end is wider. So if, for instance, you want to use it on just on the edge of your paper to give it a tiny bit of shine, you can do that. And it's almost like using a foam dauber that you can buy separately for inks. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna clean my fingers again because it's that adhesive starts to oxidize and it looks awful. But you can lighten up a paper because this is a bit of a metallic color anyway. You can use it that way. And then change the color of a layer of paper. So I'm going to add that there. And I'm going to move these out of the way. Oopsie. And then lastly, I'm going to add the little drops. So just have to be careful not to press too much. Yes. Oh gosh. Gina, you picked the two languages I don't know anything about. Similar to Lithuanian. Yeah, that. I only speak that language on Saturdays, so. Now, you know, I'm going to be on Google after this, trying to find out how to speak in Lithuanian or Latvian. But yeah, about the markers, I agree. Baltic. Thank you. That helps me. Baltic language. Yep. I don't know anything about Baltic languages at all. Only that I don't know how to speak them. Because the other Romance languages, you know, once you know one or two, then it's easier to figure out the other ones. And I'm out of focus again. Oh my gosh. I was trying to show you guys this up close so that I could show you the color change there. And I'm sorry. Oh, am I closer now? I'm trying to be unfocused. And again, I do have a lag on my end, guys, so I'm really sorry if I'm not in the right position here. I really am trying to be. It's hard when you're using a phone. There we go. All right, so if you see there, you see the gold on that. You see how it's, you know, able to add a little bit of shine on that paper. Not too dissimilar in color, in fact, to the foil that I added to the tree. So from far away, you may not even realize that there is a difference on that, just so you know. So for instance, the little stars really make that stocking stand out. But one thing that I can tell you is, say you don't have a whole lot of papers that have metallic or shine on them, but maybe you do have a lot of stencils, then make use of this sort of thing, because you can use them through stencils to add little details to your papers. That's always a really cool way to use a supply that you may already have, and then just increase the versatility of it. But here's where, you know, I can add a little dollop of this, and of course it splattered, but let's just pretend that didn't just happen, because I should have tested this off site. But I'm just going to add a couple more then. I'm going to improvise, adapt, and overcome. So that's what you do. If you accidentally splatter, just add more. Oh, always, dear. You know how that goes. That's my little, my self-therapy. I have to try to, you know, go with the not the, I wouldn't say trend, because I don't truly follow that too much, but at least the content. Although I'm missing half of one there, so they're not perfect either, just like me. But if you see the color there of this drop, I would say that this matches more the rose paper included in the kit than it does, of course, the deeper red. But it is a pretty tone-on-tone type of quality. I don't think, you know, it's too awful. It looks a little bit orange to me in the bottle. Better than horrible. Yes, thank you. I like that. Yeah, better than horrible for sure. But there's that result. And the of course, these little guys, I'm gonna have to let them drop off to the side while this dries. But once that is dry, if you want to continue on, you have those little spaces there from the little tiny baubles that are included here. And you can definitely alter those as well by either cutting them in different colors of paper if you really want to be crazy. And layer them all in there. Or the suggestion I made in my other video was to actually color the background. Let's do that. Let's do that while I'm here. Because I didn't do it in the other video. So just for the variety of, sake of variety, right? Aha, voila. Thank you, Lord. 2 little pieces of white paper is what I needed. And there they are. Okay, I'm going to try to clear this off just really quickly because it's too much, too much. So many colors, so many things. And the brain is small, so it gets overwhelmed. Hold on one second. All right, so on here, let's just say red and green. Would that be too obvious? Let me see here. It might be, huh? Well, let's just go with it anyway. Let's say there's a different color palette that you really want to stick with. I had a friend that used to tell me, you know, whenever I said anything self-deprecating, she would say, well, at least you're consistent. I'd say, are you trying to insult me? You know? It's like, I'm not going to disagree with you. But at least you're consistent. Oh my gosh. She used to make me laugh. All right. I'm going to do, let's see here. Just some different varieties there. Whatever color combination. And then do the singular die. Everybody gather around over there, over there. Where did I put the one with the drops? Oh no, did I just smash into that? I don't know where I put it. Oh, I just scared myself. Where did I put it? I set it, I needed to set it aside to dry, and now I don't know which one it is. Oh, here it is. Okay. Woo, that was close. I was moving these, and I thought I may have ruined one. Okay. I need to just chill. All right, so the whole point here, of course, is that you can then cut these and layer whichever piece you want on top. So let me do the little stripe one that I was referring to. On here, oopsie, on here what I'm going to do is actually use the Nouveau marker, where are you? Anyone else talk to their supplies? Here you are. Yes, thank God they don't. All right, so here I'm going to use, this is Midas Touch. I think this came with a previous kit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say that this came with a previous kit. So let's go ahead and add that here. So that's a really pretty gold, and of course, a festive color. All right, so you get a little bit of that shimmer. Of course, you can use your Nouveau Mousse. If you haven't taken advantage of that for a while and you feel guilty that you have these supplies in your room and you haven't really taken advantage of them, well, now's the time, dear. Take them out and put them on your paper so that you can have some fun creating. I'm going to pretend that that's going to stick on wet paper and run that through the machine. Always be careful not to accidentally overlap your dies. No, it wouldn't be the first time though that I've ruined a project after just finishing it with the carelessness of not realizing that it's still wet and I, you know, put my hand right in it. I'm sure everyone's done that. All right, so this paper was still wet from that pen. So let's see how that works. Because if we don't like it, we can do it again. So I do have the gold paper right behind me. So it's a little bit soft. I'm going to remove the little stripes from the center there. And set that aside. Don't forget also, if you do use a wet medium, it is going to transfer onto your die. So don't be surprised. Those sometimes require cleaning as well. But it's as easy as cleaning a stencil. And I don't know if I like this color combination, but it is going to remain as it is. Because at least it gives you an idea. I think I would like it better with gold. So I am going to show you this and then I'm going to cut it again in gold. After all that. Yes, create it. You have to be able to improvise as you're crafting. That's every crafter's life. you look at something and then you go, I think I can improve on that, and do it again until you finally get the result that you like. So these are opposing stripes. That's why I was saying, oh, I don't know if I like that. But if you have a much more preferred style of crafting, say you're into the more shabby chic colors, or you really like the vibrant primary colors for your crafting, then by all means, you know, you can do that. And I'm really trying to be here in frame. There we go. I think I got it. Because you can change the look of all of these. So look around your stash of the items you may already have. In fact, the now I'm remembering, the last kit was the one with the tree. That was last month's kit. I wanted to, because I like to compare past and present, right? I wanted to get that project out really quickly to show you the size of that tree. So I was thinking, what if you already had this and you wanted to add the little Christmas ornaments to it? So this is just the top portion of that. These are quite large compared to that tree, but if you're going to do something playful, honestly, you can get away with it. Where you want to just decorate. I know this is not a pine tree, by the way. I'm very well aware of it. But believe it or not, they don't grow in every part of the world. So if you wanted to just make something playful with a little tree and add the little ornaments to it, and then add little photos of children, that would look super cute as well, in case you're wondering. And then on the bottom here, you could add the little presents. So if you want to have a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree, you can do that. And guys, I come from a place where people decorate palm trees, so everything is possible. But I wanted to show you that. I wanted to show you, let's see here, the little ornaments, the greenery, the actual little ways that you can decorate these. So let me describe this, even though you may watch the other video. I do invite you to watch it, or at least give it a thumbs up if you want to support the channel. On here, I wanted to show you that you can layer the items inside and still give them a little bit of dimension, because the little present in gold is actually popped up from the red one. So depending on how thick you make the foam on the outer portion of that little aperture, you can definitely add little items inside that are dimensional. So that's of course up to you. I think it's a lot of fun. The bows was another thing that, for instance, on here I left it flat, but let me find one this one's super dimensional. So let me show you the side there. And hopefully you're able to see that. I'm gonna wait on my computer, my molasses computer. Here we go. Yeah. So on here, you're able to see the foam on that bow. And that's because I made it dimensional so that it would stand out from the background with a little hint of gold there, and then the red on top, or the pink, which I really liked. And here are the little drops that I had mentioned on the candy cane. So you see how those Nuvo drops, you could, depending on how delicate you are with it, you can really do a lot with them. Thank you so much. And this one I mentioned in the tutorial. I did do the sentiment on the inside, but the sequins covered it up. Completely, you know, avoidable, but I was just in the moment, you know. What are you gonna do? This one here also was the one with the little gingerbread girl. So of course, just to show you that you can use any previous collections of paper that you may already own to make this look the way that you want it to look. Or for instance, you can do the little window, the aperture cut into the front of a card and then slip the paper that you want in there. And I hope that makes sense. But you can definitely do a card instead of just the individual little tags. Goodness, I was going to say ornaments. I've got ornaments on the brain. This one, I think I showed you guys, but again, that's popped up. So this bow is popped up against the background for a bit more dimension there. And that's tons of mirror card there, but the difference with this one is that I used a white base, solid base, and then I took 2 candy canes, a red one and a gold one. Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. Especially, you know, if you do a smaller tree, like a tabletop tree, these are the perfect size to decorate one of those. And so in the other video I was mentioning, these background dies, you can use them to cut out pictures of all your family members, you know? So say the little round one. Maybe there's a new baby in the family or something like that, and you want to do a photo for each month of that baby, then you can do them with this little die here and then decorate a small tree. And what a cute gift that would be. Because those smaller trees you can find in, oh my gosh, very inexpensively. Or say you have an office, if you work at an office that allows you to decorate. And I say that because I've worked in environments where we weren't allowed paper of any kind, you know, depending on how private the place may be. You may be able to decorate or not. But you could do a little banner because of the fact that, of course, with that little aperture, you can tie it all with little ribbons and create. Yeah, that's the last job that I had was like that. No paper, no phones, no nothing, no joy, no happiness. Just kidding. No, it was a highly private job. So, yeah, and cameras that can see your thoughts in every corner. Oh, gosh. But that's okay, you know. But this would be really darling with photos. In fact, I'm thinking that, oh gosh, time permitting, I would like to do that. And then on the little banners, if you happen to have alphabet dies, then you can do names or just print the names in a smaller font on your computer and then cut it out with the banner die. That would be super cool. You know? So you could have like Supervisor Joe and then take a picture of them walking out of the office. Coffee and covered mugs. Oh my goodness. Wow. I would say a joke that came to mind, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep my mouth closed. Keeps me from creating trouble. My sense of humor can get me in trouble. So I'm not going to do that. Here's another little pretty bell. That would be a different video. Oh gosh. And I think I showed you guys this. Yeah. Yeah, I think I showed you all of the samples. Yeah. I don't know what more to say other than I really, really enjoyed crafting with this. Oh gosh. No, you know what it is? I've said this before, that it's different when you can see someone's face when they're speaking than when you hear their voice on a video. On any video, that's what always happens. Because I explained this, I want to say it was a few years back now, that if you can't see someone's face, you don't realize that, you know, maybe they have a dry sense of humor, or maybe, you know, like me, I'll use sarcasm when I'm speaking. And I'll say something that I find to be absolutely hysterical, and then the person on the other end doesn't get it at all. Um, Either because, in my opinion, they don't have a sense of humor, or because they can't see the inflection of, you know, how I'm moving my eyes or my eyebrows and that sort of thing. So it happens where, you know, people misconstrue things. And I just say, oh, you know, bless your heart. What can I say? You know, I don't take things too seriously. I try not to anyway, um, because you have to have fun. But in any case, I also at the same time try to be sensitive to other people and not say too much. Because that's, you know, that's okay. But yeah, let me know. In the other video, stop by, leave me a little comment there if you'd like to. I wanted to mention, by the way, that, oh, for sure, Monica, yeah, I won't be limited in that aspect ever. um, Next week, because today's the 20th, okay, so next week I have a video, 2 videos for you guys. Yeah. Oh gosh. The videos coming up next week, of course, they start this Friday, however, and I'm referring to Tonic Studios videos. They start this Friday and they are going to be for the very beautiful week of cyber week is what they call it now. Um I have 2 videos for you. Both of those videos are going to be 3D makes. I'm just going to put that out there. I hope I don't get in trouble for that. But if I do, it's too late because I just said it. But seeing as this is a channel where all year round, that's mostly what I share, then, oh, Gina, that's okay. They're going to be there for you to refer to once you get your items on hand. I don't know how many of you guys have done the pre-orders, but on the website for Tonic Studios, they had them, I think yesterday was the last day, where you could click and get a preview of what the item would be. So if you happen to get some of those items and already ordered them, then please come back to the video. And oh, they sold out. Wow, no way. Wait, which one? Which one was sold out? You have to tell me because I don't know. Was it the entirety, the whole pre-order, like the big batch, or was it one in particular? Oh, the bundle. Wow, wow, wow. Good on them. That's excellent news. So that, okay. That lets me know people really liked it. That's so cool. If you want to, just come back and watch the videos just for the sake of supporting the channel, because honestly, there's, okay, so I'm just gonna go into the whole YouTube thing for 2 seconds here. Because of the way that Tonic is doing these sales now, which of course benefit you, the consumer. You guys are being, you know, really honest with them and letting them know that you want to be able to shop without missing out, you know, from the things that you really love. And they're being super accommodating by doing those pre-order options, which I think is fantastic, because honestly, if I know I'm going to save up for special weeks like Cyber Week, then of course, if someone offers me like, hey, you're going to get first dibs on a particular day, then I would absolutely take advantage of that. The flip side of that is that we, the design team, are creating content, and the only way that we get monetized on our videos is if we get a certain number of views, or the other way to monetize our content, of course, is to do the affiliate links. But if no one is using those, then we essentially are not making any money on the videos. And I'm just going to be really candid about that. Now, whether or not that's important to absolutely anyone is a completely personal matter. There are content creators who couldn't care less, and then there are other content creators who are hurt if they don't create money, you know, any kind of earnings on their content. So I'm just going to put it out there that if you have the opportunity, and I'm not just saying this just for myself, but for the entire design team, to just stop by, watch a video in the background so you're not tempted to click away, because I'm going to, you know, tell you that if you do click on a video and you don't watch the entirety of it, you may as well not have watched it because it hurts the channel. But if you click on the video and just let it play, then at least that person's going to get a little something for you having viewed it, and definitely the interactions, whether it be a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So those of you who leave me thumbs down, thank you. It still counts. The interaction, whether it's positive or negative in this world, I'm speaking of YouTube, it doesn't matter. So whatchamacallit, at least some interaction to help the algorithm of the channel helps. So that way we can continue to bring you content, bring you the types of things that you want to watch. At least on this channel, I can promise you that it's going to be lighthearted. As I say, I don't take things too seriously. I just share with you what I love, which is very candid because I really do like the product. And if I don't like it, I don't show it on the channel at all. And I mention this every year. If I get sent something and it's not to my liking, or I think it's of poor quality, I will contact the vendor and say, nope, sorry, that's not going on this channel. And you guys never even find out. So, well, the thing is that it doesn't help if you don't watch the entirety. It's basically like saying poor engagement. Oh my gosh, Raquel, you're so boring that people are clicking away. That's what it means to YouTube world. We understand that you may have like a toddler in the room and you just started watching something and oh my gosh, he fell, and you had to stop watching the video and go, or maybe someone rang the doorbell or whatever, you know, life happens. So that's why I say sometimes the way that I support my crafty friends is that you know, if I'm doing chores, laundry, dishes, whatever, I click on a channel and I let it play. And I just, even if I walk away, I'm not actually even watching the content. I'm just letting the videos play. So that way, at least those ads run through and all that other stuff. And then that way they get the viewership. So that's how I like to support my crafty friends. Also, the thumbs up on every video. I don't even care, you know, because I'm supporting my friends, you know. So, and then of course, if there's an affiliate link, then 100% of the time, if I'm going to shop for a product, then I'm going to go with the affiliate link, just because I know the work that goes into the videos. So yeah, so that's all I have to say. And I always mention, I don't care if it's my affiliate link, if it's from Christine, if it's from Vicky, if it's from Rosh, any of the other ladies that create long content, you know, what do you call that? Long term? No, long form content, whatever, long videos on YouTube. There are several of us on the Tonic Studios design team. Then, you know, Shilpa is another one. Who else is on the team? You guys probably already know, but we did make a list and share it on the YouTube or Facebook channel. Trying to think of how old that list is, but I'm pretty sure there's a listing there because we're not all listed on the website. That's one thing I can tell you. Not everyone who's making the videos is actually listed on the actual Tonic Studios websites. So that's why it's good to know who even is on the team so that you can go around and just, you know, do the little click, 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 click. And if you don't have time to watch the videos, it doesn't mean you shouldn't watch them. At least leave the thumbs up so that there's that engagement. And maybe a little comment of like, hey, thanks for the video. I'll be back to watch or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just my little commercial segment on how to engage on YouTube so that we can all get along. Yeah, but next week I have 2 videos for you guys. Come back and watch those. It's going to be super fun. You're very, very welcome always. if there's ever any question, if there's anything that I shared that was incomprehensible, if my words didn't come out right, because sometimes they don't, reach me through email. Some of you already know this, that I always will respond. It might not be immediately, but I always will. And I will do my best to help. Hi, B&D. Hello, Nolan. You guys just got here? Detention for both of you for being late. Because I'm over here wrapping it up. All right, but before I leave, because I'm not in a rush, do you guys have any questions for me? Because I'm happy to answer. And this is all, I try to make this zoom in, but I couldn't do it because I'm over here upside down. um, no worries, you're forgiven. Just do like 10 push-ups and I'll get over it. Brian, welcome, Brian. I recognize your name from other live videos because I know you're also super, super crafty. So welcome, Brian. This is the kit, by the way. I don't even think I put that. No, I didn't put it on the title because I was, you know what I was doing? I was too worried that my camera was going to fall because I'm using my phone. Send Rachel. What? No, you don't have to pay me, guys. That I know that that's on the videos, but honestly, you know, you don't have to tip me for my content. If you want to, I won't say no, but no, I'm just kidding. That's there. If there was something extraordinary that blew your mind or whatever, then you can buy me a cup of coffee. But if not, don't worry about it. um, but yeah, before I go, if you have any questions, let me know. But I do want to exhort you to please come back next week for Cyber Week because I do have some super fun projects that I want to share with you guys. One of them, I wish I could show you, but I'm not allowed. One of them is just so stinking. Actually, both. Yeah, I'm gonna say both. Glasses or glasses? Yeah. You can pay for my glasses so that way I can see can see what I'm doing. Let me see if I can zoom in. Actually, I'm gonna give it one more try here. I don't know because it's my phone. I'm using my phone to film, and normally I don't. Normally I use an overhead camera. Um, and I'm doing this really wonky like setup here. Um, oh, thank you, Nolan. I'm hoping that next year is better with that. I know I always say that, but honestly, I just this year, do you want my top 10, good and bad from this past year? Because we're nearing the end of 2025. I know we're in November, but this is why I'm saying that, we're nearing the end of this year. It's because next week, let me think here. I have 3 more projects for you guys for what's the remainder of this year, and I was gonna not mention that, but I'm going to anyway. And that's because I'm actually going to take a month off. This is going to be the first break I take in the entirety of this year. And oh, wonderful, Monica. Yeah, it's a long awaited break because it's been nonstop. It really has been. Like behind the scenes, it seems like I don't create a lot of content because I know that there are other YouTubers that create like a video every 5 minutes. That's not me because of the type of content that I want to put out. I don't like short form videos where it's just like, let me throw this in front of you and get over it and move on. That's never going to be me. But yeah, I definitely needed a break this year, and so I'm actually taking December off. Having said that, I do have content that will be next week, and then another video coming along for Scrapbook Pal, so please watch that if you can. And then in January, I'll be back within the first week of January, right back at it. So, The live stream videos were iffy this year because of the amount of content that I was making, and also because of some computer issues that I was having. When you do this type of content live, it's one thing, but when you're editing content for tutorials, it takes a little bit longer. So depending on what you're using and all that good stuff, if you have any troubles with that, then it takes even longer. So having said that, I kind of got that sorted. It's not my preferred way of creating the other types of videos. If I'm completely candid, the editing that I'm using now is not my preference, but it's working, and I'm just going to continue on because I did have some issues there, and I had to apologize to you guys because I did have some videos that all of a sudden out of the blue started flickering, and that was horrible. So I am still very sorry for that. There was no way that I could even fix them. So even if I downloaded them and edited the video, it wasn't taking the flickering away. No live stream for, oh, so sorry, Nolan. The only way that I could do it is if I try to live stream from where I'm staying, and because it's kind of remote, the connection is probably not going to work. Believe you me, if I could do it and have the connection work and you know, be guaranteed that it would work, then I would be happy to. Because what I would do is basically show you where my family lives, you know, because I consider you guys friends, and I think that you may get a kick out of a bunch of Spanish speaking Puerto Ricans hanging out and how we love on each other at Christmas time. But yeah, last year I did, what did I think I may have shown you guys photos. That's all I did last year. I posted on Instagram a couple of photos of where I was staying. So if you're nosy like me and you would like to poke around on accounts, you can take a peek at my Christmas photo from last year, and that'll tell you where I was, you know, where I was. But yeah, I wish I could show you guys sneak peeks, but I can't. I wish. If I do, I'll get in trouble. Yeah. But just to let you know, it's going to be super fun. If you have seen this channel progressively throughout the years, then you know that I've kind of, yeah, anytime, girl. Yeah, your stalking is welcome. It's all good. I always say, if you want to message me, go ahead and do that. You know, you can ask me, where are you? What are you doing? And I'll go ahead and send you photos. I mean, this is how I get to know people anyway, you know? Oh, thank you, Linda. So if you guys, in fact, if you guys want me to do that and do like a little photo segment on Instagram of the little places that I'll be at, I'll be happy to do that. I might not show myself in the photos, but I'll go ahead and show you that. And yeah, I think, Nolan, you've emailed me before. Yeah. Because I've done that for other people where I've just, you know, gone ahead and recorded little snippets and sent them through chat so that people can see, you know, what it is I'm up to, or where it is that, you know, I gain inspiration from. It's a lot of fun to do that. You know, in the past it's been with other design team members, but if you want to reach out, don't shy away from that, guys, because we're not these untouchable people on the internet, you know? I mean, obviously, no, I'm going to stop. We are reachable. We're personable. We're normal human beings. So yeah, you can definitely do that, and I'll be happy to share. Because honestly, like last year, I'll give you a little example. Last year, my husband and I, we took some drives through the countryside in Puerto Rico, which is where I'm from. That's where I was born. And let me tell you, the scenery it's paradise. I don't care what anyone else says. It is absolute paradise. You get to meet people that are just phenomenal. And in one little town we stopped in, I'll tell you this tiny little story. And so the crafting is over now. So if you wanted to listen to just crafty stuff, bye. I'm talking about personal stuff now. Yeah, we're human blindings. um so yeah, so as far, okay, let me answer that really quickly. So Nolan is asking, do I still do I still go to Tonic Studios live stream? So recently I've not been joining in, not because I don't like to, but because I've been too busy. Honestly, I've been just working on making sure that I finish everything on time and that I produce the quality of content that I want to make, because that's the other aspect of this, is that I mentioned earlier, you know, when you do videos for a company, of course, every company has their standard, but then you have your personal standards and what it is that you like to do. And I've tried to make sure that even though, um, oh, okay, maybe you weren't asking me, so I guess I don't have to answer that. Sorry about that. I was going to go into a different segue, but I wanted to mention the trip in Puerto Rico. We ended up in this town where we were looking for a hardware store. So we walk in there, and the owner tells us, like, oh, you guys are from out of town. You should go out to lunch. And we're like, okay, yeah, sure. And he says, go to my friend's restaurant. Guys, when I tell you, this place was on the top of a mountain and you could overlook the entirety of the town and nearby mountains from that restaurant. Oh my word. If you want to know where that is, and if you're a traveler and you want to go to the Caribbean and maybe Puerto Rico's on your bucket list, let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram and I'll send you the restaurant name because it's well worth it. Um, so yeah, so Fettuccina can't do the lives because her boss took her phone away. No phone for you. This video is gonna come across crazy if the live doesn't go on there. Um, yeah, I try to come on here at 11:30 ish, whenever possible. Oh, thank you, Linda. The blue nutcracker. Let me show that to you really quick. He's over there on my shelf. Um, yeah, I hear you, girl. This will give you actually a size, a proportion. If you have this, right? It'll give you an idea of the size of the little ornament. I'm calling them ornaments, but they're shakers. It'll give you an idea of how big these are. I'm gonna have to see if that's in frame. Am I in frame? I have a delay. It is so slow. Oh my lord. Where are you? There. Finally. Later, I get to see it on my computer. um, but there's little Mr. Nutcracker, and he was so much fun to make. Um, sadly, these things to help carry them around, and I'm thinking of my traveling. I would be so afraid to ruin it in travels that I was tempted to make a bunch of them, but then I'm concerned that they're just going to get ruined. Wait, I can't show you. Come on, little guy. So let me know, guys, did you get this little guy, the Nutcracker? How many of you have them? Because I have seen, yeah, if I put them into bubble wrap, they'd be okay, but then I would also have to have like a barrier around them. Like a foam casing of sorts. Only because unless I carry them in my hand, which now the airports are getting a little bit better about it. I've, you know, I've heard they're getting a little more lenient about what you carry on hand, which is wonderful. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to make. So if you have it, then you'll know that whatchamacallit, this is something that you can combine with, for instance, all these little goodies that came in this kit, because you can have them holding Holding little ornaments if you wanted to, or that sort of thing. The little candy canes, the itty bitty ones. You could put them on the hat if you wanted to do a little soldier with all candy canes, decorating the suit and that sort of thing. It is a labor of love. I agree. I think I mentioned in that video, it'll take you longer to cut all of the items than it will to assemble it, for sure. And then the the little strips there, that was fun. You know what, Fettuccina? I am the exception to that rule, and I'm going to tell you why. I am that person that they stop for no reason whatsoever. They go through all of my things, and I swear I think it's because they're nosy. I kid you not. The last time that I traveled, I brought back gifts. And I understand. I mean, believe you me, I want to be safe when I travel too. So for me, I'm just like, you know what? X-ray everything. I don't care. But they even cut into my I had obviously going to Puerto Rico, I bought coffee. They cut into all of the packaging of all of my coffee after it went through the X-ray. So then of course now I had to like give people pre-cut bags of coffee as gifts. I was not happy about that. Yeah, it's not cool. I'm just like, do I look like someone who would traffic, you know, items, illicit items in this world through countries? Is that, do I have that profile? I don't know, but they always stop me. I don't know. I think it's, maybe it's because I'm fluffy. I don't know. They question, is it real? Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, now I'm at the point where when I go down there, I'm actually going to see if they would be willing to just ship me the stuff directly from there, because I think it'll be easier to just do that rather than go through the whole rigmarole of TSA and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here. Yeah, come back. Don't be a stranger. Email me if you want to. Reach out. I'll try to leave little snippets of, you know, photos here and there on Instagram. I can't, I would love to do a sneak peek, but if I do, I swear I'm going to get in trouble, and I don't want to get booted off the team. But I can tell you, you know, that it's 3D projects, because that's what I was going to say. If you've seen the trajectory of the projects on this channel, then you would have noticed that from the standpoint of Tonic Studios, it has leaned heavily on the 3D side. And so that's basically what you can expect to see. Although, of course, there's always going to be a little bit of card making and all that good stuff, because this is a paper crafting channel. But yeah, the items for next week are going to be 3D. Although one of them I was going to mention, one of them for sure. No, I take it back. Three different. Oh yeah. Both of the videos, the items that you'll see can definitely be used as card making only if you wanted to. So yeah, it's and it wouldn't be difficult to do so. In fact, one of them, if you wanted to do a memory book with it, you'll be able to do so. So that tells you everything. So yeah, I have to let you guys go now. Thank you so much for having spent some time with me today. I very much love and appreciate you guys. And I thank you for the support that you give me with this crafty journey. If it were not for you guys, there would not be a Paints and Glitter channel. So please know that when you're watching these tutorials and videos, that there is a person behind the camera, and I very much appreciate all of your support. Oh, wonderful, Linda. You know what? Then if you get this kit, I think you're already a subscriber, but if you happen to get it as a one-off even, I think you would very much enjoy it. And please do stop by and watch the other ladies' projects, I'm sorry, that they have made, because they as well, you know, work really hard to bring you some beautiful content. So support them as well. And oh, thank you, Dina. You also. God bless, guys. Thank you so much. And now I'm gonna have to stand up and go over there. Ciao, ciao. Squeak. Thank you for the thumbs up.